Well, we hear all the time from many of you how frustrated you are with lawmakers and politics in Washington. And we hear from our lawmakers about how they want a return to bipartisan governing and getting beyond the stalemate. But the saying and the doing don't match. Our John Sherrick went to Washington to see what needs to be done to get our lawmakers, the ones you elected, to work together to help Georgia. Here's the story, all new.
Polar opposites politically in Congress.
What can each of you do to stand up and say, we've got to build a consensus, and to stand up to your own party leadership on that?
The Democrats.
Democrat Representative Hank Johnson and Republican Representative Phil Gingrey, each openly frustrated with the other side. And yet, well, back to them in a moment, they may surprise you.
We support funding!
Because bare-knuckle mean is the norm between the two parties in Congress now. No one there is more proudly partisan than Republican Representative Tom Price, who insists he wants to find middle ground with the Democrat partisans.
The Speaker has verbalized no desire at all to work with Republicans.
Given the situation as you describe it, is there anything that you think you can do to break that logjam?
I think we're doing it. What we're doing is reaching our hand out and saying, look, we're ready, willing, and able to work with you. We just haven't felt that similar response in return.
He's trying, but stalemate. Democrat Representative David Scott says Congress is a reflection of deep partisanship among voters.
My goodness, I've had them picket my office. I've had them put swastika signs, death threats, all of this.
As a way of breaking the logjam, would you be willing to stand up to the leadership of the Democratic Party in the House and say we've got to yield and reach compromise and consensus for this piece of legislation or that?
I have done that. I've done that on the medical liability issue.
He has to Speaker Pelosi and to President Obama.
This is a poisonous atmosphere here.
And stalemate still. Republican Representative Paul Broun says Democrats will just not consider his proposals because he's GOP.
I've had Democrat after Democrat say, Paul, that makes sense. I'd love to introduce that bill, but I can't because my leadership will punish me.
So he goes on the road, lobbying voters instead of Congress.
You think you can get more done out in the community using your platform as a member of Congress than you can in the halls of Congress right now?
Absolutely correct.
But in the Senate, Republican Johnny Isakson still passes bills with bipartisan support and says the media hypes the idea of gridlock.
Because it's always more fun to cover a fight than it is to cover a choir singing. I'm more the choir singing than the fighting type guy. Personally, I like to see bring people together.
Which is exactly what Democrat Johnson and Republican Gingrey resolved to do with each other as an example. They've become friends.
Well, I'll tell you, whenever we disagree on issues, we always come back, grab each other, talk about the wives, talk about different things.
Which they say helps them seek common ground in Congress.
If everybody on each side of the aisle got along as well as the two of us, there'd be a lot more things done in a bipartisan way.
Well, can you imagine the Speaker of the House, for example, and the Minority Leader having this kind of a back-and-forth conversation on camera like this?
Yeah, they need to.
From Washington, John Sherrick, 11 Alive News.
Now, just like we did getting Georgia's lawmakers together, we're putting in a request to have Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Minority Leader John Boehner sit down together with us as well. Who knows? It could happen.